How is it coming along?
Great. He could wake up any second.
Good. Get out of the room.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Beau.
Whoa.
My name is Adam Vukmir. And yes, you were dead, decapitated, and me and my team brought you back to life because we want you to review a film.
What's the movie?
I'm so glad you asked.
You have got to be kidding me.
Wish I was.
I don't want to do this stupid review.
Oh, Beau. No. Not a review, but art, Beau. The critiques, the pros and cons of filmmaking. You bringing up the blood and sweat that goes into making a film. And, Beau, I'm gonna need you to cooperate. Come on. Well, folks, it's time for Beau and Movies to make a return. This is episode 5, and this is Serdan Spasojevic's A Serbian Film. A Serbian Film tells the story of Milos, his wife Maria, and their son Peter. Milos is a retired porn star, and the family is currently barely making ends meet. This all changes when one of Milos's old actor friends What's wrong, Adam? Am I doing good? I don't want the humor in this. Go get the drug. Yeah, everything's fine. Just keep reviewing. Okay. To star in a new pornographic film that will help him for the rest of his life and potentially even help their son Peter. And this is Milos's brother, Marko. He's a dick.
A gde mu je futrolica za... A kom plastičaru to da zahvalimo?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Milos at first is hesitant about the deal, but ends up talking to his wife about it, and he ends up agreeing to go meet Vukmir. Whoa, okay, you're really tall. Hey, what you doing with that needle? Ow! Ow! Get... Hey! I was told I was gonna review a movie. He should be up in about 20 seconds. All right. Milos at first is hesitant about the deal, but ends up talking to his wife about it. Milos eventually is persuaded and ends up signing the contract for Vukmir's film. His first scene is at an orphanage, strangely, where Milos immediately gets an off vibe. The next scene he films is with another woman. Milos also looks over in the corner and notices that a little girl is watching all of this occur. When Milos declines, one of Vukmir's guards comes up behind him and holds him. Milos is forced to, well, you know.
Bravo. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Mwah!
This, rightfully so, pisses off Milos, and Milos turns around and bops the guard in the face. And then Vukmir goes off on this philosophical Thanos-type speech, and then shows Milos...
Newborn! Born! Newborn!
Obviously, I'm not going to show a clip from the scene, but that scene is utterly disgusting, and I just... A few days later, Milos wakes up in his bed covered in blood. He goes over to Vukmir's home and finds the camera with a bunch of tapes. He places in each tape, and then for the last 40 minutes, we begin to watch what happened in those previous days. We learn that Vukmir and his nurse drugged Milos in order to get him to perform better, I guess? So they instruct him to do terrible, terrible things. His co-star, Layla, who was the girl earlier, ends up arguing with Vukmir about the treatment of Milos, and she's killed for it. I can't show her death, but yeah. Milos is in the home with the same little girl who watched him get... As Vukmir stands behind the camera and instructs Milos to take her virginity. Milos fights back by putting a knife to his wiener, his Slim Jim, his meat staff, his cock-a-doodle-doo. Okay, I'm done. He jumps out of the window and escapes. He is then beaten up in an alleyway by a group of thugs who were harassing this young girl. And, oh, look, it's the baby to the rescue. Milos is then brought back into a warehouse where the nurse begins to drug him again, but Milos fights back and takes one of the needles and stabs the nurse with it. However, Milos is still drugged up, so he is brought into a warehouse by Vukmir, where Vukmir leads him to a bed.
Dobrodošao u topli porodični dom.
On the bed is two covered people, and then Milos is eventually joined by somebody else. This somebody else is a masked man who was actually the killer of Layla earlier, but of course I can't show her death scene. It's way too graphic. I can't, but I'm not recommending you go watch the movie, but if you really want to know what happens to her, just look it up, because I don't recommend this shit to anybody. The masked man is then revealed to be Marcos, Milos' brother. Milos is like, huh? And then Vukmir takes off the sheets of who were underneath. Marcos is having sex with Milos' wife, and Milos is having sex with... I can't do this bullshit anymore. Rightfully so, Milos jumps up and kills Vukmir. While Maria takes her sweet time with Marcos. Milos then kills the guards and saves the last guard, who was the one who starred in the...
Newborn! Born!
Yeah, that. Milos then takes his... Okay, picture this. The guard, whose name is Rasa. I haven't said his name the whole time. Rasa has a missing eye. Yeah, that. Milos then takes his wife and son home, where Milos and his wife then agree to all commit suicide, because genuinely... what are you supposed to do after that? So they all commit suicide, and then...
Ajde. Kreni od malog.
Yeah, that's how the movie ends. The cycle just continues, and... Well, everybody, that was a Serbian film. A Serbian Film is a film that I genuinely do not recommend at all. Its content is the reason why the film is known as one of the most controversial and disturbing films of all time. The only positives I can truthfully give the movie is the fact that the movie is truthfully well shot for a movie of this genre. The movie is well acted, and it has a really good soundtrack. But the problem with the movie is way too much shock value. The scene was absolutely unnecessary, and the film's supposed message that Serdan Spasojevic said about the film, which you can look up, it's never really prominently shown because of the fact that this movie just relies so much on shock value.
Bravo. 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 Bravo.
Thanks, Adam. All of you, get the fuck out of my house.
Now hold on a minute. I got you a surprise mystery DVD. It's my last surprise for you. Christopher, lead the way.
Welcome to the mystery DVD.
Feels like a Jaws movie. Wait a minute. Jaws the French.
Hey. Whoa. You just had me watch a Serbian film. You've already tortured me enough. Yeah, fair point. Yeah. All right.
Oh.
Well, time to move out, I guess.